Hello everyone, I'm Marc Daniel Patrick, musical theater coach. Thank you so much for taking time to check out the channel. Don't forget to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and you can also find me on my Instagram at Marc Daniel Patrick or at my website at marcdanielpatrick.com. Today we're headed right back into one of my favorite musical theater shows of all time, and that's Les Miserables. Now last week we looked at Elaine Paige and Jennifer Hudson's singing Memory from Cats and tried to compare the two performances and see where each actress approached the song differently. So I thought, why not do that again with a song that everyone has been asking for so far on this channel, and that is Bring Him Home from Les Miserables. In choosing the two performances for this video, I think it should be a rule on this channel that we have to use the original. So Colm Wilkinson is first up and a shoo-in for this reaction video. Now, oddly enough, we almost didn't get Colm Wilkinson as the original Valjean on Broadway anyway. So in 1985, he did originate the role in London, and when they moved it to Broadway in 87, the American Actors Equity Guild almost blocked him from taking the title role because they wanted it to be played by an American. Thankfully, the bigwig producer Cameron McIntyre at the time stood up and said, look, we're not mounting this show unless he's in the title role. And thank God he did, because the Tony-nominated performance that Colm Wilkinson gave in this role was absolutely incredible. The clip we're going to use is from the 10th anniversary edition at the Royal Albert Hall, and here we go. I love this music.
God on high, hear my prayer. In my need, you have always been there.
So first off, obviously this song, so much breath control you need to be able to hold and sustain those notes, right? So you can see, what you'll watch the entire performance, his chest doesn't move at all, like his shoulders don't come up at all. He's really supporting from those lower lungs and from the diaphragm, really supporting that perfectly as he needs to. Now, right off the top, you can tell he does like to slur a lot, sort of slur those notes in and out. And I wonder if he maybe overshot that first one a little bit, and so he's trying to bring it back. Trying to maintain that. Those interval jumps are very difficult throughout this entire song. So being able to control that is just masterful for anyone who can get through it.
He's young, he's afraid. Let him rest, heaven bless.
I love that close-up so much because you can really see how he's enunciating everything, right? Rest. He's really coming through it. The vowel position he's putting on almost the entire song. Bring him home instead of home. Bring him home, right? It's coming down and out even more to give it that resonance, to really bring out that vowel and allow him to support.
Bring him home, bring him home, bring him home. It's like the son I might have now, if God had granted me a son. Of some must die one by one, how soon they fly, on and on, and I am old and will be gone.
So good. So everyone who takes on this role is going to have a slightly different interpretation of the role, and that's perfectly fine. That's exactly what you need when new actors come and take on a role. You want them to bring something different. If it's a carbon copy of what's already been done, it kind of lacks something, right? You need to bring your own interpretation every time you come to a role. And I wonder if originating a role is a blessing or a curse. I think about this all the time. I wonder if it's a blessing because you get to be the first one to set the standard. You're the first one to set the bar of, okay, this is how the role is meant to be. And it's a curse because everyone who comes after you now gets to either live up to you or even come past you, right? And even improve on some things that maybe you didn't do originally. So with that being said, he plays this very physically, right? You can see everything he's thinking is coming out through his body. You can see his hand position, his hand gestures, even his facial expressions, the way his body moves. Everything is very physical. He's not holding anything in. Everything that he's thinking is coming out through his body and through his actions, which is perfectly fine. That's exactly how he wants to deliver it, and it's spot on for the character. And it's kind of giving it that, I'll say melodrama, but not in a bad way, right? Like that melodramatic plea in this song, it's absolutely fine. It's absolutely perfect for this role.
Bring him peace, bring him joy.
Sorry, I'll stop again. Look how he uses his body, right? He uses that body to come up and kind of, it's not a breath, right? He uses that body to hold him, to hold it back, because he has to control it so much. It's so easy, I tell you, it's so easy to overshoot in this song. It's so easy to go sharp on so many of these notes, and he's really using that body to almost place the note and really hold him back. It's so perfect.
He is young. Only a boy. You can take, you can give. Let him be, let him live. If I die,
so good. And you can see like I said, that physical, like he's really that physical reaction, that call to God right there, coming with those those hands just saying, here, look, I'm giving you everything, take me. So perfect. It's so good. One more point on that vowel position when he opens, right? That it's almost like it reminds me of someone trying to like fake a Sean Connery accent, of that opening like this. That was terrible, but you know what I'm getting at, and it kind of holds it. It's almost like he's holding like water in the sides of his mouth, reminding him to control that and keep the jaw in that position to be able to resonate and produce that sound. It's so perfect. It's so perfect. That last note, I mean, is for me, honestly, for me, that last note, he lets out too much breath on those last two notes. For me anyway, he lets out too much breath on those last two notes coming into it. But the impressive thing is, because he's Colm Wilkinson, is that he sustains that note for as long as he does. Even though he's letting so much air escape, it's too breathy for my liking. But who am I to say? I mean, he gets through it and delivers it perfectly. So who am I to complain about that at all? And the right amount of vibrato, you can see the slight movement, the slight tremor in his lips, slight tremor in his mouth, maintaining that note and keeping it on pitch with a slight vibrato through the whole thing. And that's fantastic. That's such a great performance by him. The thing I love the most about anyone who sings this song is normally, when you have an orchestra and a vocalist together, normally your conductor is bringing the song to a close together, so that you want the vocalist and the music to end at the same point. In this song, you throw that out the window. You can see the orchestra comes down and dies out far before he's refusing to give up the note. And it's actually, It's perfect. It shows off the vocalist, that they're able to sustain that note perfectly for so long. And then it also is such a nod to the character. It's also the emotion of his pleading for, for his life to be taken instead of Marius, and he's just going to hold it out for as long as he can because it may be his his dying breath, and that's just so perfect. It's absolutely fantastic, and I just love it. So when looking for a second performance of this song, I thought if he's good enough for the Broadway revival, he's got to be good enough for this video today. So we're going to take a look at Alfie Boe, and the performance we're using is from the 25th anniversary at the O2 Arena. Here we go.
Lord on high, hear my prayer. In my need, you have always been there.
So a great start for him. He almost seemed to take a little bit more time off the top there. He really slows it down and takes complete control of the whole song, which is so perfect. I mean, where this song comes in the show when you're actually performing it and on stage, I mean, there's going to be no surprises for the audience at this point. Either they're looking forward to this song or not, but based on the performance you've given throughout the entire show. I mean, this comes in maybe 75-80% through the show. So this is such a pinnacle moment of the show, and a song that a lot of people are waiting for. So by this point, emotionally, you should be in it, right? Emotionally, you're standing here on the barricade in the middle of a battle, and you should be emotionally prepared for this song. And even though it's a concert version of the show, you can tell Alfie is here and he's ready. He's already in it mentally. And starting it off so perfectly well.
He's young, he's afraid. Let him rest, heaven blessed. Bring him
love that look. Look at that face. The eyes just tell everything here. I mean, so his interpretation of it is a little bit more internal, right? He's really getting at the heart of Valjean and the character and just really unwrapping all of it internally. So you can tell everything's very, very muted. Everything's very, subtle, very subdued. He's not Colm. We saw it was a little bit more physical with his actions and his movements. Alfie's going to play this more internal and really show you like the mental struggle that Valjean is having, and that it's absolutely fine. It's absolutely perfect interpretation. Like I said before, every actor that comes to this role is going to bring a different spirit, a different energy. And what amazes me about his performance is the amount of sound he's able to make by not opening his mouth as much. You saw in Colm's version, everything is wide open. His mouth is just almost open the entire time, where Alfie's able to deliver such crystal clear vocals by not opening his mouth as much. A lot of times when he has that home, it's almost closed the way he's delivering it, and it's incredible that he's able to deliver such a crystal clear, perfect sound. Even though his mouth is holding that shape and not open as much. And I wonder, I don't know if you know why, throw it in the comments below. I don't know why he uses that approach. He's a very classically trained singer. So normally everything would be open and wide open with proper vowel shape to be able to get that sound out. But he does it so incredibly well by not having to open his mouth as much, and it's perfect.
He's like the son I might have known if God had granted me a son. Summers die one by one, how soon they fly on and on, and I am old and will be gone. Bring him peace, bring him joy. He is young, he is only a boy.
So good. So now, normally I wouldn't recommend an actor keeping their eyes closed for that long on stage. For this one, it's Alfie Boe, so I'm gonna shut up. Like he's able to do whatever the hell he wants. But for this one, it kind of makes sense where in this song, I mean, especially in his interpretation of it, I get the sense of a prayer so much, right? Like this song has been called the prayer for so long just because of the message behind it and the story of it, where Valjean is just pleading for God to take his life instead of Marius. It really is at the heart of it. It really is a prayer to the heavens and a prayer to God. And I really get that sense from him. He's really driving that out. You know, there are so many different elements that are weaved into this song. Love for Marius that he's finally come around to, because he knows that Marius is in love with his daughter and can take care of her after he's gone. Fear, he's afraid of dying, obviously, but obviously afraid of dying and leaving his daughter with no one. And anger, like the anger he has towards this war, towards the battle, towards God. You know, he's really just so angry, saying like, look, you have the power to take me and spare him. Like, and just, it's a plea, but it's just a plea out of anger, just saying like, just do it. I'm asking you to do this for me. And you really get all of that built into his performance. There's no point in his performance where he lets any of those elements fall. You can feel it throughout the entire thing. And just, I mean, look at this face here. That tells you, it's so perfect. It tells you everything right there.
You can take, you can give, let him be, let him live. If I die, let me die.
I really love this cinematography of this so much, and this shot here. Look at that. It gives him such a spiritual look, right? It gives him that heavenly halo over top of his head and just adds so much to the performance. It looks so spot on and beautiful and perfect. And look at him, how he comes out, his arms stretched right out, almost, it's almost a Jesus on the cross, dying for someone else, giving their life for someone else. It's the elements he's putting into this are just absolutely spot on.
Let him live, bring him home, bring him home, bring
So good, so incredibly and again, right, the orchestra dying out, the orchestra being cut before allowing the vocalists just to hold that out as long as they possibly can and as long as they want. And it's so perfect for the song, so perfect for the character. That's such a fantastic ending, and Alfie does It's an incredible performance as well. Really, the true beauty of performances like this is you can just appreciate them for what they are. There doesn't need to be a winner. There doesn't need to be someone that did it better, that sung it better. I mean, it's just appreciate it for the interpretation that each actor brought to the role, and that's all it needs to be. That's where it needs to live. Is there's different interpretations, and that's entirely okay. And as audience members, you should be so grateful that there are actors that'll come in and give you a different reading on the role and give you a different interpretation and truly make you think of what's at heart of the song. These two are both gems of musical theater, and they absolutely do this song justice, and there's nothing to choose between the two of them, and it's just absolutely perfect. That's all the time we have for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and you can find me on Instagram and at my website. And until next time, I'm Marc Daniel Patrick, and thanks so much for watching.